Today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. This is of the 1M program, which some of you at least are somewhat familiar with. If you're attending a session with us for the first time, welcome. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, and $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. And we welcome all of you. Every single entrepreneur who is using the program is supremely important for us because we exist to make you successful. Our only reason for being here is so that you can be successful, and that's how we are going to be successful. And we are entrepreneurs just like you are. This is our 182nd session. Can you believe this? We've been doing this for a long time. We will put a recording of the event, both on blog as well as on our YouTube channel. If you are tweeting the show, please use hashtag 1M1M. Twitter handles are at 1M by 1M and at Sramana. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1M Roundtables, and all the recordings are available there. And there's also lots of other goodies like, FAQs of 1M. They're very cool cartoons, really fun entrepreneur cartoons and so forth. Play around with the channel. Now we have a very packed session today that really spans the entire globe. But if we have Q&A time, we will let you know, and you can call in to chat. Our dial-in number is 650-479-3208. The access code is 669-548-885. Tell us in the public chat that you are calling in, put your computer on mute, and then keep your phone muted until I ask for you. So that's how we manage the queue. We start, okay, let's see. Is Andrew on the line, or should we go to Ilve first?
Line.
Right, Andrew. Great. Andrew joining from Sydney, Australia, where it must be the wee hours of the morning almost, isn't it?
Yes, 1 o'clock in the morning over here.
Very much appreciate you being here. So tell us what you're doing with Sydney Slice. Yeah,
well, since we've been running for about 12 years, and I guess we're a buyer's agent for property in Sydney, Australia, and work with a lot of overseas clients. So, do you go through the slides now? Is it how it's going right now?
And how did you hear about 1M1M? Is it through the Autodesk announcement?
That's right.
Did you hear about us?
Entrepreneurship, I was following some stuff. I was doing some other stuff with another entrepreneur group, and then I came across your group, and I was quite keen and involved because we're quite keen to somehow work with entrepreneurs, I guess, more in Silicon Valley, and probably try to get ahead of that. So that's how I came across it.
All right, let's do your slides quickly. Now, we can't really go over all this material, and by the way, try to put the bullet points on slides. It's very difficult to read slides with rambling text like this. You have to synthesize and summarize so that we can very quickly, in 3 minutes, get an overview of what is it that you're trying to do.
Easy. Well, basically, I can give you a 2-second thing to move on that one. And I'm a buyer's agent for residential and rural property in Sydney, Australia. So we work on behalf of the buyer. We're not a real estate agent. We work purely with the buyer, looking for properties, investments, anything regards to even living in Australia, coming to live in Australia. We will find a property for you. Right. So you can see Sydney Slice has a great hill. We've got the beaches, the water, and beautiful houses. Next slide. So as I said, we work with overseas buyers, expats, foreign investors, and then busy professional. Even a lot of entrepreneurs are coming to us as well, and obviously interstate and first-time buyers. Next slide.
What's your presence? Is this something that you're doing through the web? Do you have a significant web presence?
Not as such. We've been quite, that's one area that we're looking to expand on. Most of our stuff has been referral-based and a lot of relationships with expats in Australia, in Hong Kong and Singapore. Looking to...
The way we do business, if you want to do business the way we do business, you're going to have to turn us into a web storefront so that people can actually find out about you through channels that we use to recruit customers.
Yeah, definitely keen to that. So yeah, next slide. Yeah, yeah. So I've just basically that you can do that in greater detail. Have a look at it online. But most of that is why we use a buyer's agent. One, time, we save you time. Two, we save you money, and we know the market extremely well. We've been doing this for 14 years, but we definitely keen to open up our markets to overseas buyers. As I said, our main market strategies are expat and foreign investors from the overseas market, and we're looking at Asia, UK, Middle East and the Silicon Valley. And we work with sort of $500 to $20 million properties. And to do with obviously the Australian visas as well, there's different rules on that, but we're quite across that. And obviously Sydney just has that increasing global appeal as opposed to own property. It's got extremely high yields and capital growth. And with Australian dollar dropping, it's even better for the overseas buyer. So main offering, I'll just be brief. We do everything from a full search, locate and negotiate service. We do everything. And most clients prefer that because it just takes all the stress and emotional out of buying property. But then again, we can just offer the negotiation service. So that's the property, they'll come to us and we'll negotiate on their behalf. Or we go to an auction. They don't go to auction because it's too emotional. You normally buy your property at auction a lot higher than you really want to anyway. We take that service and we run that with them. And the last one is we do a lot of stuff with companies overseas that are coming into Australia to set up and need their CEO. We look for a rental, so we just provide a rental service on that. And states we've only been offering, as I said, about 12 years. We've probably bought about $400 million worth of property. And we're probably the leading buyer's agent in Sydney. We've been around the longest. Slide. As you said, really keen to this stuff comes from a referral relationship. Looking for more overseas channel partners, so where they refer us business and we can pay back a referral fee. The online stuff, Google AdWords, social media, that's the sort of stuff we're going to try and find. That's our next move for us. We definitely want to get more coverage in that space. And then trade shows and database marketing. So, next slide. We will requirements. We definitely want more exposure. Silicon Valley. We know there's about 17,000 expats from Australia and Silicon Valley. It's an area that we really want to concentrate on. Also, as I said, social media. We're trying to get that up to speed. Online marketing, and identifying potential overseas partners. That's a key area that we're looking at growing. Next slide.
1 by 1 million is an incubation service that really works on technology and technology-enabled services businesses. So if you really want to turn this into a business that takes advantage of online channels really significantly, that would be relevant for you. If you're trying to do this business as an offline business, I'm sure if we would be the right place for you.
Yeah, definitely online is the way key, and that's what I was thinking. It was quite important to meet with you guys and express what we... Obviously, a lot of our stuff...
Very tight, which I really like. I think you already have a good positioning, and now your emphasis, if you were to work with us, the emphasis where I would I would advise you to put is in learning these online marketing channels, whether it's social media, whether it's Email marketing would be a very powerful one for you. Search engine optimization, maybe blogging, the whole range of things that we teach in terms of customer acquisition mechanisms and ones that you would need to master and implement as part of your business.
Totally agree with you. Yeah, no, it's definitely, because it's just been so inundated with all referrals, but we want to expand out to new markets. As I said, Silicon Valley, Dubai.
Just the start is completely doable. I'm very confident that if you decide that this is what you want to do, we can help you write all the pieces of it and teach you how to do it, and it's very doable. It's well positioned. What you just described is very well positioned. It is the lacking and the gap here is your understanding of how to implement an online marketing strategy.
Totally agree. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. Well, if you hang around a bit, at the end of the session, we're going to talk about how 1 million by 1 million works with entrepreneurs. I understand that it's 1 o'clock in the morning for you. So if you want to drop, the recording will be available for you to listen to later on. And you can contact.
Yeah, awesome. No, I'll stay for a bit, but I will have to drop off because I've got to be up in about 5 hours for a meeting. So
I totally understand. So that is exactly why we make the recordings available, because we are working with many time zones and people over the world, and people have to make. But the recordings will be available later on, and you can listen to it and then get in touch with us.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's great. Well, the next slide was just those. Next slide I had was just questions that you've answered anyway. But the main thing is definitely our online presence and referral partners. That's our key aspect going forward.
Everything we do, everything we advise you to do is going to be through an online strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fantastic.
And you can contact, by the way, for all of you, this is Irina Patterson is your contact person for 1M1M. If you want to contact somebody, talk to someone by Skype or phone or email, that's the person to talk to. That's Irina at 1mby1m.com. Maureen will give you I don't know if Irina is in the room, but Maureen can give you her phone number, email address, and Skype contact in the public chat. I move on to the next presenter. And by the way, folks, while we are doing this, you also feel free to use the public chat, which you need to send to all participants. And you can introduce yourselves, tell us where you're joining from, introduce your projects, what you're working on, how did you hear about 1M1M, whatever it is, you're very welcome to use the public chat more actively. And we'll take questions from the public chat at the end of the session. I can't take questions right now. We're going to need to go to another 4 presentations, but please feel free to use the public chat to ask questions or network. Okay, well, thank you, Andrew, for staying up till 10 a.m. and being here. We are going to Ilbe next. Ilbe, you could unmute your line and tell us what Outtroop is, and you are joining from Virginia?
From a suburb of Washington, D.C. Hi, Sramana.
And you?
Fine here. It's so in Washington, D.C. It's a record temperature today, especially this week, over 100, 110 degrees. So I think it's a record in the United States this week.
It's dreadful. Outtroop.
Okay, Outtroop is an internet company, an online solution for consumers and business to bid on qualified and rated independent local service providers. We focus on home-related projects, and we help homeowners to find qualified independent contractors for their home needs, home repairs and renovations and that type of projects. And
but for local home-related projects.
So we focus. So it's about e-lands for local contractors focusing on home-related projects.
Okay.
I'm sure you know the company Elance, right? There's a company called Elance. So
you work with Elance very, very regularly, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So Troop is Elance for independent local. Troop launched Troop almost a year ago, and there are 4,000 contractors and homeowners registered. We received over 200 projects from 14 states and 10 major metropolitan cities. We are in business. We're getting users, customers, but still creating a marketplace is a really huge challenge, as you know. And we have a great team. In my team, I have a co-founder. I have a vice president of engineering. In the next slide, you would see, and also a marketing person, and two are full-time employees. We have an office in suburb of Washington, D.C. And the problem we're trying to solve is the inefficiency in funding qualified local independent contractors. Like when you want to do a home repair, a home-related project, as you experience, it's an inefficient process. I mean, calling these people, make appointments, and them to look at your home, and it's a huge challenge. So we built an online platform where we're able to find these independent contractors and to get the work done at a competitive rate and at a considerably less cost than hiring an established company. A bunch of services out there which will help you to find established companies and all the other companies you get by junk mail. But we focus on independent contractors, the guys who are freelancers and working from home. So how do you find these people and make savings? So in our platform, it is a sophisticated bidding platform, rivals eBay platform. As a project owner, you can post your projects, and the contractors bid for the projects. Be able to see their qualifications, certifications, licenses, and you can do your bidding settings based on other rate, project basis. There are numerous bidding options available. You can do blind bidding. They won't be able to see the prices and people's profiles. So there are options available in a full bidding environment. And also, you get all the information as you would get from Yelp. When you find a restaurant, in this independent contractors, and review ratings, tool ratings applicable. And so you get information. We are basically a matchmaking service. We don't charge homeowners. Our revenue, actually, the opportunity is $50 billion in the U.S. Census Bureau numbers compare the independent contractor revenues, and there are a bunch of other options available using Yellow Pages, Google, and other competitors. However, there's
direct competition. I think everybody understands that at this point of the game, people know what Elance does, and people pretty much understand what Elance for home contractors would look like. What is your direct competition? I have a hard time believing that there is no direct competition. There is no such service for contractors yet.
No, there are other services I mentioned before, but they focus on established companies, and there's a company called TaxRabbit, ServiceMagic. Craigslist is our biggest competitor. So we're trying to solve the Craigslist problem. So there are a lot of people using Craigslist to find contractors, but it's
Are you sure there are no exchange marketplace for contractors?
Marketplaces, but focus on established companies.
No. I'm asking a very specific question, and it's a question that you need to research, because even if there are these are very established players. Craigslist, TaskRabbit, Elance, these are established players. There may be small competitors that are 1 or 2 or 3 years old, and you need to search that as well.
So we researched it and all the competitors. The way they work is they charge subscription fees as Angie's List, okay? And TaskRabbit is a curated marketplace, so you have to be
established companies. I'm telling you something very specific. What is startup landscape? What does the startup landscape look like? Clearly, where we are in the market today, in a mature market. So the chances of somebody else having thought about this idea and having started something that is maybe 1, 2, 3 years old is very high. They may not be as mature as Angie's List or Craigslist, but the chances of there being other startups doing it is very high. We're not that's a problem necessarily, but you're aware of them, and you don't seem to be aware of them.
We are fully aware of it. Like I said, other competitors are doing different things with different revenue models, and
I'm saying that it is very possible that there are other competitors who do exactly what you do. See, in the public chat is actually pointing you to some companies, Red Beacon and Thumbstack. You should look them up and see what they do, and to what extent what they do matches what you do, and what are the differences. But you need to be aware of what's happening in the market.
Aware of them. We will review them carefully. And
okay,
what
does Red Beacon do, and what Thumbstack? Rashid is asking you, how is it different from Thumbstack or Red Beacon? Can you answer his question?
Thumbtack is pretty much targeting every service category and everywhere. They're all over the place and trying to get all the characters in the network. So they are not focusing in a particular segment. The second thing is you have to be in their network. You have to be they are curated service. So they pretty much vet everyone that join in their network. So our business model is we are basically a matchmaking service. We don't enter the transactions. We don't take a cut from the transactions. With their business model, they take a cut from their transactions.
So how do you make you do subscription? You don't take a cut of transactions. How do you make money?
So we charge the consumers, and we don't charge transaction fees. However, we charge subscription fees to contractors, and we charge them for promotional opportunities.
Okay.
So it's a different thing. And we're basically matching
the
service.
Same as Angie's List, right? At some level.
Angie's focuses on established companies. Okay, and they charge
Angie's List focuses on everybody and their mother. In the services ecosystem, they focus on everybody. They don't focus on established companies only at all.
Yeah, most of the companies listed there are the companies you would find on yellow pages. Okay, and also they charge subscription fees to consumers. Okay, so
and they charge subscription fees to the contractors.
I charge subscription fees to contractors. Also, they charge subscription fees for service for consumers.
There are nuances in how you're viewing your business model, but don't say that there is no competitor. There is pretty direct competitors.
No, there is no direct competitor. I don't think I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that. There are competitors. We listed them. You can see it on our slide and the differences between us. If you go back to the previous list, okay. The Outlook is a service. We are trying to solve the Craigslist problem. Okay, so we have a solution which with a big option, ratings and profiles, which helps the people who are facing all those problems on Craigslist. So you can go next slide. We charge to contractors, and the fees are now towards not $7. There's a mistake on this slide. So we're expecting 10,000 registered contractors in 2013. So far we had 12,000 contractors registered in Outro.
Contractors are paying $20 a month for the service?
Okay, so it was free until May. Okay, it's, not May, April. Since May, we started charging for the service. So about 10% of the contractors are paying $20 a month, and also for the promotional fee, we charge $125 for 3 months for display advertisements, coupons, and discounts.
Okay. So you do about $8,000 a month in revenue right now. Okay. And so your conversion out of the free to the paid is 10 cents. What's your impression? Do you think the other people that are on your network are they going to convert?
Yes, that's the biggest challenge right now we have. So we're working on conversion rates. We're working on UI improvements. So now I have one developer, full-time developer. We're just struggling with the whole marketplace product, and that's one of our challenges, to improve conversion on the site, and so improve UX and UI features.
And how projects are being listed on site right now?
Okay, we received over 200 projects since we launched in August of last year.
How many owners who are submitting projects are active users on the site?
Active users, all right, so we get 400 or 500 users a day, visitors a day. Active users at any given time, 20 users, always active user on the site. We really haven't lost any users since the beginning. Nobody quit using the site or quit the membership so far. But user traction and also conversions is our biggest challenge right now.
Yeah, I think that challenge can be met. If you have 4,000 contractors and you haven't given me the exact number of active users on site, but if there is some optimization that you're going to have to do, because this is you have to manage all the different geographies. You have to make sure that the marketplace per geography is snowballing. You have a lot of contractors in a geography. You have to make sure that there are enough active users actually posting products in that particular geography. So you have to map each of those geographies smartly and intelligently so that marketplace gets seeded properly.
Sramana, right now, okay, all this traction we have is done. We did it without any unpaid marketing. So free internet marketing, but we haven't really spent any.
That's not the issue. You do it for free. You still need to make those local marketplaces flow. So in each local geography that you have contractors in, you need projects in each of those areas. You need to kind of look at that bigger and look at that concentration carefully to see that we have a lot of contractors in the area and nobody is posting projects. Those contractors are going to lose interest and go away. They'll convert it into customers.
And right now we're focusing locally in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And 50% of our work comes from locally. But how about with the internet, we're getting users from 14 states.
Point. It's not just 14 states. You have to kind of increase marketplace. The marketplace needs to flow geographically, because right now maybe you have good both buyers and sellers in the Washington D.C. area, but if you don't have that in each of the geographies that you're trying to cater to, then those those traveler geographies are not going to yield and they're not going to monetize.
Very true. So I mean, with the team and the resources I have, I can only take care of local needs, and my goal is to expand other geographical areas with additional resources. So we are raising funding. We did get angel funding when we started the company. So we built the platform, but now we need more resources in order to grow the company to other geographical areas. But we have proven concept. We have users, over 200 projects, and 4,000 registered users. I know that this
validated business. That's sure. You have a validated business, and then you need your selling strategy is not well defined right now.
Yeah. I mean, right now with the resources I have, I can do it's very difficult to expand other geographical areas. So we're doing our best, but I'm hoping in the next round we will be implementing
all right.
a strategy.
You've got what you're doing. We need to move on to the next presenter.
For the opportunity, our site address is outroop.com, outroop.com.
Okay, Peter next. Okay, Peter, you're next.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Peter Padaiti, and my company's Short Taxis. We've been running for the last year and a half, and it's a pretty straightforward business as such. It's not hugely sexy. As such, it's quite a common business around the world, not very common here in India. Basically, where we're positioning ourselves is around the middle class in India. The vast majority of radio cab companies in India are targeted at pretty much the higher end of the sort of income level, ignoring the vast majority, 80%, 90% of the population. So this is where we're positioning ourselves in. Now the problem, this is a pretty sort of kind of thing. It's tax availability. It's not there where you want it, as such, either because it's just the wrong day or in the wrong place. Now, as a consequence, then you have your taxes here are prone to predatory pricing. So you're left in a situation where you're negotiating on the fly. If you're in a hurry or under stress, then you're at the will of the taxi drivers and such. Safety obviously is an obvious concern, especially for women. So if you're traveling alone or late at night, it's a major headache as such. And as I said, cab companies here are premium prices. Now, premium means you want 20 to 30% higher than the standard rates, which, given the middle class is highly price sensitive, they tend to only use that when they're really stuck as such. Now, we have set the customers. We have passengers and we have taxi drivers. Our business model is very much we don't own taxis of our own. We are the middleman between passengers and taxi drivers. Now, for the two drivers' point perspective, passenger availability, pretty simple. They have to drive around looking for passengers, waste, burning up petrol for no, as such. Then of course empty return runs. So if they have to go to a direction where it's a little bit out of the way, likely they'll come back empty. So that means that they're reluctant to take fares, which is a bit out of the way, particularly some residential areas in the out in the suburbs and such. As human beings, they also have safety and security concerns as well. But one of the main reasons that the tax experience in India can become quite poor is simply the fact is that there's no incentive for them to try to improve their service at all. Transactional business, you see the passenger, you never see them again. There's no tipping culture here, so there's no incentive to do any better. So what has short taxi been doing? Again, none of this will become a big surprise. We're a single point of contact from the before and after the trip for the passengers and such. We offer standard rates, so it's pretty what's on the meter, nothing more as such. The drivers, we've discovered that 30% of drivers have some licenses, permits, or insurance is out of date, not endorsed properly, whatnot. There's this issue of the other, such shouldn't be technically on the road. So the drivers and such, so people coming through our service can be assured that these guys, at least on a paper point of view, should be on the road. And then we offer better drivers. Now we'll go into a little bit how we actually do this. From the taxi driver's point of view, we offer them nearby fares. They spend less looking for a fare, and then better profit. So, and then in terms of just again, let's just go back a bit. Okay, so they get there's a higher chance of a paid return fare. Passengers are known. We obviously the passenger's name and contact numbers, so there's less likelihood of any kind of misbehavior. And finally, where we can offer. Sorry?
Interface. So this kind of matchmaking that you're trying to do, it's like a location-based service, right? It's an Uber kind of service. What is the interface? Is it an app?
We are developing an app. We're primarily voice-based. We're phone-based. The simple fact is that the middle class in India integration is not that high. Mobile phones, smartphone is only 14% penetration in the general population, and that's concentrated at the higher income level. People, even if they have a smartphone, don't necessarily have a data plan. So we're resolutely pretty much offline in terms of things. Now, having said that, the middle class is starting to think the internet much more, at a steady pace. But we recognize this, and we're positioning ourselves to be there when they start taking this more aggressively. There's a high level of not fear, but to order things online, to do things online. That's not a habit that's formed yet as such. But we're positioned to be there.
The basic assumption is that this is going to be something that passengers are going to pick up the phone, and everything is going to happen at the call center. All the complexity is going to be at the call center.
Pretty much. On the back end, and we'll go this into. I'll go into the next slide. On the back end, we're trying to push out a higher level of automation. So here, the passengers are accessing it through the majority channels, the voice being the primary route. But then with the taxi drivers, we communicate with them through SMS and a phone app if they go for the phone app option. Now the thing, and even the phone app isn't using an Android system. We're using a Java-based even your most basic Nokia can run a Java-based application. We're using that system as such. Again, the income level is so low, you can't expect them to pay an Android phone, even at the lower end. They just wouldn't be able to afford it. And if you were to give it to them, it's more than likely you lose half of it. With a month, it'll just disappear.
Your assumption, how are you going to keep track of the location of the drivers?
Location. The accuracy has been about. We're improving by taking a lot of sample data we can bring it down to about half a mile, which is enough to locate the driving that's get close enough. As such, and the drivers are happy to drive that distance to a location as such. SMS had to check in manually saying that we're at this location. We different landmarks have codes, and they just send that into the call center, and that tells them where they're located. As such, so for example, if they're near,
The assumption is that the driver is going to proactively communicate with the call center and transmit their location data based on some mechanism, and then the call center, all the matchmaking is happening at the call center. You're receiving calls at the call center, and the call center is doing then the dispatching, matchmaking, and dispatching.
I mean, they do that currently. They report. The vast majority are using the SMS mechanism. They report themselves in. Basically, what happens is that they do a run, they've stopped, they're at a taxi stand, they have nothing to do, or they're somewhere a little bit out, they report themselves in, and we try and match them up, in and around that time. As such. So the systems, we're actually operating in a very small city at the moment in the northeastern part of India. It's only a population of about 500,000 people, so it's extremely small. We're not profitable by any means, but we're testing the technology, which is what we're focusing our efforts on at this stage. Actually, if drivers will do self-reporting, if they will, if the technology in itself will work. The revenue model is pretty straightforward. We don't charge at the moment a booking fee to the passengers, and we take it of the fare as such. And
how does the money go? The passenger is not going to pay anything until they actually get delivered to their location by taxi. So are you banking on the taxi to come back and pay you, or are you collecting the payments?
The way it works is we work in a paid model. The driver is set up an account, they prepay their commission, and we just deduct the commission from that. But it's not like a prepaid one where you can't get it back. They can come in time and get it back if they want, while the remaining balance. That's how we do that. The average balance that drivers keep is enough for about 10 fares. Okay.
So it's a paid taxi model.
No, prepaid in terms of the drivers prepay the commission to us. It's not a prepaid for the passenger. The passenger pays the driver directly. Get involved in that transaction, but because
transaction. How can the driver prepay the transaction?
They don't pick. When an account with us, they deposit a certain amount of money, right? In a couple of hundred rupees, 100, 200 rupees is typically what people pay. And then money from money we collect, we take the commission, right? But the fare is 100 rupees. We take 10% commission, for example. We take a 10 rupee commission. That just automatically gets deducted from their account. They have 90 rupees balance in their account. This is that. There's no credit risk.
Drivers are willing to do?
Yeah, that's one thing we wanted to test, and they are willing to do that. In fact, the other day, some came to us, registered, and put 2,000 rupees, and we're like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he said, "Fine, yeah, okay." So, type of thing. So, but again, there's a lot of assumptions about how the mechanism may not work, and this is the purpose. This is what we've been doing a year and a half. It's actually testing this and seeing how it works and what doesn't work. As the technology and also the process in itself. So this is so what if we go to the next slide. Like I said, this stuff is it's all been done before. It's a business model, and Europe, the South Korea, and the US, Uber and Halo have kind of taken it to the next level in terms of the technology side. We accomplished, I suppose, there's my cab in Mumbai, and then there's an Autowala, which in Pune and Glora, but they focus on the auto rickshaw market segment as such. So when we eventually reach these cities, these will be sort of the incumbents and such we have to face. So if we move on to the next.
Like what there are a bunch of companies. Like when I was in Bangalore last, I called a company and they booked my taxi, but it looks like they own the taxis. So your competition is also the people who actually own the taxis, the agencies who own a lot of taxis. You don't own taxis, so like you're going to be working only with the independent drivers?
Yes, I do. Independent drivers.
And the sizing of that market, how much is the unorganized sector of people owning just their own taxi?
Okay, in Kolkata, which is where we're going to launch in terms of view for profitability, 36,000 independent taxi drivers. Well, 70,000 drivers and 36,000 taxis, and they all were independently.
Okay.
So it's
so you're
a,
going to be, in terms of major metros, you're going to be testing it in Kolkata?
Yeah, in terms of scale, we're testing it in Kolkata. In terms of the basic technology, we've tested it in Mysore, Mizoram, which is, like I said, 500,000 people at most.
Okay.
So this is where we're at. Customer acquisition, as I said, the middle class, they're primarily still offline bunch of people. Such online is becoming increasingly important, but it still, they get their news, they do their shopping, all, primarily offline. So our customer acquisition strategy is really about offline. So it's a traditional radio flyers, roadside ads, all this sort of stuff with this. So, like I said, nothing rocket science there. In terms of online, we're there at the moment. At the moment, pretty much focused on social media in terms of spreading the word, getting people to, sort of trying to explain the service, because people just sometimes aren't familiar with how the service works. The concept is completely alien to them. SEO is there, obviously, and we run ads on a campaign by campaign basis.
Population is online, and then we're talking about a population that needs to be reached differently and not through SEO.
That's true. But at the same time, we have a presence, right? Because it will that importance will increase over time. I mean, there's the number of e-commerce websites coming up, with that there's a demand there, but the middle class is still very much offline in the offline world. In terms of what we've experienced over the last 1.5 years or so, for example, we're currently experiencing, because our customer acquisition cost is so high, because the offline advertising is just not cheap. One of the things that we look at is the number of repeat customers we get per passenger on a monthly basis. And 1% so far are using a service at least once a month. About half of that uses us at least once a week. But 30% uses at least once a month, and as long as they're using us at least once a month throughout the year, we can cover the cost of their acquisition. As such, if you're familiar with Net Promoter Score, one thing we track is how many of these passengers who recommends us. We did a customer survey in Neri, and 100% have recommends to friends and family and their co-workers. As such, in terms of drivers, what we've seen is that those actively participating in our, with us, are seeing an increase of 30 to 50% more of their earnings. So we're in customer acquisition for the drivers. We're actually finding they're coming to us rather than us having to go to them now.
Interesting.
So, just an interesting statistic there is there's 125 people for every taxi, in comparison to Mumbai, which is 238 people for every taxi in the city. I thought so twice as many taxis. But yet we did a survey about 2 months ago in Calcutta. The complaint of the passengers was there's not enough taxis. But we're talking to the drivers, they had a complaint. There's not enough passengers. So there's a system issue here, right? Yeah. And we see our position.
Typical management of all systems depend on bookings and yield.
Yeah. So exactly. So we feel that we're in a good position to be here in the middle of this out. Calcutta taxi, so traffic police receive about 5 complaints a day on their Facebook page alone. I estimate there's probably 10 times more than that through the offline route as well. There's a lot of.
What size of the market opportunity for you in terms of how much revenue do you think you can make if you were able to organize the Kolkata market the way you're proposing to? What size of the business that you can build revenue-wise in Kolkata?
Hang on, let me just. I have the number here somewhere. It's just. Sorry, on me now, but basically, with 6,000 taxis running, we're talking about, say, at any time, we're talking about 25,000 on the road in any week period. As such, we're calculating with something like per day fares of some 3.6 million rupees. Sorry. 6 million rupees fares a day. And even if we capture 1% of the market, taking a 10% commission of that, 10 to 15% commission of that, is a significant, it's still a significant number. Because we have to provide 24-hour service, and unfortunately we have to support a call center. We need to be making in a fair high, about 0.5% of all the fares that run in the city for us to break even. And at that point, it's just a matter of scaling up. So it's still quite a heavy challenge there for us to do to achieve this. As such. So that's all about.
Marketing-wise, customer acquisition-wise, it's not easy to build. It's valuable. What you're trying to do is definitely very valuable. I would be interested in seeing what your P&L looks like, what your customer acquisition costs look like, what does it take to scale this, and the variety of different final questions that come to my mind, which I haven't really figured out based on.
No, I have quite a detailed financial analysis of this. I'm happy to share with you on a one-to-one basis and such. But like I said, I'm much aware of the challenges. Customer acquisition costs extremely high. So we're looking at trying to see if it's cheaper doing it through online and through other alternative means of marketing.
Well, thank you. Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Good presentation.
Thank
You're up next, Janet Sarak.
Hi, and thank you for having me. I'm actually an Australian living in Israel, and I relocated here nearly 4 years ago. A very comfortable, rich quality lifestyle, and from nice home, 2 cars, 2 incomes, to no home, no 1 car and no income. So it's been a massive re-education process and a reinvention process in making it more complicated. I created an Israeli startup, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you. It's actually evening here, along with all the language and cultural challenges. So I'm bringing a 30-year plus in corporate learning. I know that you can't solve the problem with the same thinking created it. What I decided to do is to use what I observed here as the Israeli startup innovative entrepreneurial model as a way of teaching the corporate world, or reinventing corporate learning to enable people to think differently. Next slide. The opportunity is incredible because the corporate learning market is huge. In 2011, it was 287 billion, and it's still growing. And you can see on the slide all the different segments. So it's grown significantly year by year. So next slide. I actually saw that there was a real opportunity to invent corporate learning, and in work for Australia and Israel's top 100 companies, I know about the challenges and the frustrations they're experiencing with the way most learning providers operate. And of course, because I had the opportunity to have a year off working, I could do a lot of research, and we see some of the issues the world has changed, especially in the last 5 or 10 years, in terms of diversity, cross-generational disengagement, all emerging unemployed, youth market, people having to deal with such change and uncertainty, and customers actually demanding a higher value and more innovative education service. And on the other side of the spectrum is that business as usual is no longer acceptable. And the lean startup, especially how it's emerged here in Israel, has made entrepreneurship a core leadership competency. So I created a global learning company which was first in the world to research, decipher and replicate what Israelis do when they create a startup. And I've developed a unique, innovate like an Israeli learning system which is non-academic with a very pragmatic how-to focus. Next slide. Yep. This is a description of my company. I had to create a whole new language. So I talk about being generative and provocative. And you can see that my target market is executive business leadership coaches and startup businesses, managers and leaders in global corporations. And the things that I'm focusing on doing, it's essentially working in mindset, building to change. And what we do is we bring innovation management processes to life. So 4 main streams, learning streams. There's online e-learning. There's gamified experiential business simulation called the Startup Game. There's online business and coaching and awareness building innovation labs. So I'm actually teaching people how to be innovative leaders and using my 30 years of corporate learning and consulting and 6 years of studying with some global thought leaders who you can see page. I think the real thing that I've had to learn is how to use technology in specific areas to teach this very intangible subject, so especially in internet marketing and gamification. Next slide. So I actually built the business with some of my former Australian clients in mind, and my real opportunity to generate large revenue is through working with organisations like Macquarie Bank, who I've actually run $1 million programs for before, so that they need to innovate and understand that it's more than just improving processes. So able to entrepreneurial leadership, innovative leadership capability. I've done a lot in organisational culture, and I understand about business ecosystems and customizing. The other area that I'm working in is in small to medium startup businesses. They're good at the front end, but they're usually not good at the back end. So really teaching people how to execute. Slide. I spent a lot of time getting my international coaching accreditation and also online learning program for coaches. You can see which type. They teach my IP so I could share it with the world who want to innovate their business or innovate their client's business. They get points for that. And then lastly, this is the last one that sprung up on me in the last few months because I've been iterating and prototyping for some time. It's really teaching business schools. I'm speaking to the Technion at the moment. Incubators, accelerators, mash-up, startup weekends who want to learn what it means and give them a visceral experience of what it feels like to be a startup entrepreneur through my game. Next slide. My key competitors, you can see, are out there. There are different competitors for different streams. Probably 30 to 40% of them are potential licensees for the startup game, and a lot of them are a lot more expensive. And one of the things I found is that a lot of people working in the innovation space are very conventional, building high-end products that are very cumbersome, very expensive, and they don't have the certifications or the credentials or the experience that I have. Slide. So I have, because I've worked in this field for 30 years, I do have a lot of existing customer client advocate relationships. And the hard work's been really because in relocating and being in the Northern Hemisphere as apart from the Southern Hemisphere, actually building a reputation as a subject matter expert. So ebook, there's a to buy ebook. I've got a whole lot of global conference presentations, white papers, and then the whole internet marketing campaign, which I wasn't even on Facebook when I started this business, so I don't more than you can possibly imagine. Next slide. I'm a furious networker. I've learned in Israel, if you don't network, you don't work. And then, of course, it's developing strategic alliances with other learning and development companies, and I'm in conversation now with 3 of them. And then I've got a profit share business.
Okay. Okay. Looks like she's still connected, yeah. What happened? Can I have muted your phone by mistake? Can I hear you? Yes? Well, if from you, Janet, we're going to need to move on to the next presenter. Hear you either. Move to the next presenter. Ravindra Rapeti, sorry. Ravindra, you're up next.
Yeah. Hello. This is here. Yeah, really good to be here. I'm actually Ravindra, and I'm an Indian, currently living in Philippines, and now I've come for an accelerated program in Boston. And I is basically proportional. We address the food security problem in urban slums globally. Next. So the target market is just a typical urban slum dwellers. For example, is around 30 old urban dweller living in Hyderabad. We're targeting income of around $2 to $5, and about 40% of on food. The problem here is the majority of food they eat is very rich in carbohydrates. So that's the reason why they are nourished. So it's the problem of providing food of kind of product mix which is rich in proteins. So she's not able to purchase this because of the high price of the nutritious food. And we also have farmers like Santosh who have mobile phones, and their income is very fluctuating because they tend to local traders and they don't get the right price for what they are selling. So there's unfair pricing at the farmers level, and there's unfair pricing at the people in slums. So what we do exactly is next slide, please. Example, imagine a farm level. He grows kgs of tomatoes, and 80 kgs belong to of a quality which can be exported, which can be sold to a Walmart or Reliance Fresh, etc. 20 kgs is not of high quality. They are like off specs. So he combines both the stuff and then he tries to sell it at a less price than what it's supposed to be, because there's no market for off specs right now. The color, shape, whatever reasons, what the farmer is expect is not that high. We propose this next slide.
And what products are we talking about here?
It's about vegetables and fruits. Which all the farmers growing vegetables basically.
Okay.
And there's no demand. There's no separate market for all these aspects. It's completely unorganized. So what we want to do is we want to let the farmers sell the highest quality vegetables to the traders at the same margin, good margin, and then we can for a market to have a technological platform like a bidding platform wherein the farmers can bid that I have 20 kgs of tomatoes of specs. I'm willing to sell at this price. So whichever farmer bids the lowest bid will be selected, and it will be collected from his nearest station, and the off-spec vegetables will be diverted towards urban slums.
Okay.
And these specs are very high nutrition, but of shape and color they are not currently consumed by the normal retail stores. The value we're currently adding to it, in case of control the farmer, we create a new market for off-spec demand, getting a fair price for it, and it's very convenient collection centers. We have people like Fatima, who is a slum dweller. We give nutritious diet for her, and we give very good product mix at affordable prices at door delivery. So with all the
work with farmers that are surrounding the major metros.
Correct. We're talking at least 100 miles within the urban slums, in the vicinity of urban slums. This pilot we have done is this farmer living in Hyderabad, called Rasulpur, and the farmer is currently located 100 miles from Rasulpur, Hyderabad. So this is the business model what we're trying to accomplish. We see the off-specs from the farmers, have unsold vegetables on a daily basis from the retailers like Reliance, Walmart, Target. And vehicles, we have the vehicles to collect them. Use mobile car vendors who are in the urban community and sell it to the slums directly. What revenue channels we might expect we try to generate in this? Business through the sale of vegetables to slum dwellers. That is where we make money out of it. We also plan to have, we want to sell the ad space on the billboards on the mobile cards. Companies like PNG and who want to target the bottom of the segment.
Mobile vendors, the carts that are going out to do the actual selling to the slum dwellers, do you own those carts or are those?
Currently wanted to outsource. We wanted to create a ecosystem like a self-help group in urban slums, and the car we owned by them, and we sell the vegetables on a daily basis to these groups, and we divide the entire slum into different zones. So that zone is being served by one slum dweller, one mobile. Sorry. These all cars are
the slum dwellers paying you, or these mobile vendors paying you?
The mobile will pay us.
And where do people buy all this stuff from you?
Sorry?
They buy this stuff from you.
Typically, we are selling the vegetables at a lower price compared to the existing trader right now, because we're going directly to farm. Our price is lower, and we keep the slum vendors keep the same margin, currently what they're selling, but the market price is lesser than what they currently. If they're selling 10 rupees right now, 1 kg, and because the cost is around 8 rupees, the margin of 2 rupees. Now what them is, you keep the same 2 rupees in every kg you sell, but I sell you at 6 rupees, you sell at 8 rupees. So the price for the slum dweller goes down. So you can have a better food, a better nutritious food at the same price what is currently paying.
Okay.
Trying to connect to basically. Mostly in case of Islam and all other religions, every religion has to promote nutritious food like eat cook on a daily basis. So we like with these slum communities to integrate religion as well as we also wanted to do medical checkups on a regular basis to get their diet, the deficiency level.
Many things. This is already a very complex logistics business.
Yeah.
boil the ocean, none of it is going to work. You need to focus and do one thing and one thing really well.
So our primary target is on sourcing part. We want to develop a bidding platform, maybe a website. We're just trying to start up. We didn't start yet. We're still in planning phase. So you suggest that we focus more on the bidding platform with the farmers and also on sourcing?
No, I think this is a pure logistics business. You need to work with the farmers and decide whether they want to they will sell you their product or not at that price, and you need to create a critical mass of farmers per geography that you're going to go for, and then you need to create a critical mass of retailers, small retailers, these mobile vendors are willing to buy that inventory from you, and that's the business. This is not an online business, this is a logistics business.
We already in touch with the farmers in the area. They are very positive to sell their off-spec product with us. And we're trying to develop a mobile application or SMS-based system when the farmers can communicate with us that this is the quantity I have, this kind of vegetable I have, and this is the price I'm willing to sell. So we want technology so that at least something mobile is very, very available in all the farmers we spoken to. So having SMS-based system of trying to logistics data, will it be a way to do it, or is there any other way which we can establish?
First and foremost, when you start putting this together, because it's a new concept altogether, forget technology. It's going to be purely if they're willing to call on their mobile phone, you're going to need a call center that can receive those calls and do the dispatching and so forth. It's going to be a human-based logistics business, highly manual human-based logistics business for foreseeable future. Technology you may be able to leverage is going to be in your central unit. It's not via the distribution nodes or sourcing nodes.
Oh, so you're saying
use your cell phone to call you and talk to you.
So you have a call center wherein it's a toll-free, and then ask them to call up and say, this is what I have. How much price do you want to sell it? So they okay, and then I can go and collect the stuff from them, and then use my sticks efficiently.
Piloting it, and you will see what is required to make it happen. But this is a logistics business, and it's a very interesting logistics business. I think your analysis of the market, if you make it all slow, I think it's a very interesting, very high value creation opportunity. But it is a complex, logistics intensive business.
Hard time trying to bring the farmers to explain what we're trying to do, and although the biggest challenge we had is convincing the people in slums to buy these products, because there's a lot of bonding between the slum dwellers and the local mom and pop stores. They're more interested because all these things are on credit. So what credit policies we can have it inside the urban slums? Yeah, can you find that out? We are
kind of getting to the end of the session, and I have some other things to cover right now. So your business is, please understand, your business is a highly manual logistics business. There is not very much financing that you will be able to access right now until you can get this model to flow.
Okay.
And on that, the kind of financing you will have to access is more bank financing oriented stuff. This is not the kind of business that is likely to be, venture financeable, so to speak, until you can show that this has sufficient financials and sufficient growth rate, sufficient, TAM and everything to be able to qualify, which none of which is going to become apparent anytime soon. Right now you have to bootstrap the business and validate the model and get it going and start building a business if this is what you want to do.
Thank you so much for your,
Good luck. It's very interesting. What we're trying to do is very interesting, and I think it's very high value, but how much of it is going to translate into big fits and big growth and big markets, I'm not sure. You have to check models, you have to see how it plays out, and that will answer your questions. I don't have a perspective on that yet.
Okay.
Okay, so back to Janet. Janet, what are your questions? I can give you another 3 minutes to finish your questions, and then we need to move to the next segment of the presentation.
So firstly, around funding, my questions are up on the screen. Been held up for the last 6 months because I ran out of money. I did want to turn the game into a phone app, which we'll do next year. And I saw your article on saying that it's probably better to self-fund, just try and win one project. But being a company of one and living in Israel, it's really hard to get to a customer who's willing to actually do a project. And a project value can be anything from $50,000 to $1 million.
Yeah, but I just don't think your business is fundable. And you're trying to do too many things. Figure out what in your entire portfolio stuff that you really want to do that's manageable and start validating with customers and start generating revenues. Right now, what you have presented, nobody will fund that. And it's too much.
Okay.
What you have presented so far is way too much. It's all over the place. You need to find one customer segment, one product, and really build a business around that. Right now, you've presented so many segments, so many different products and services and blah, blah, blah. It is the wrong way to build a business, try to build a business. You will not succeed in building a business this way.
Okay. Have you got any other advice to give me? Thank you for that.
For now, that's it. I need to move on to the next segment.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you're going to have time to have you guys call in, because I would like to spend a minute telling you about how to use 1M1M for those of you who are interested in using 1M1M. I want to ask you for a favor. If you like what you're doing, please refer serious entrepreneurs to 1M1M, and the word serious is really important. Because there are lots of fly-by-night entrepreneurs who kind of play around with a little concept, and then they'll do this, that, and a little bit, and then abandon the concept. This is not the kind of entrepreneur we are interested in working with. We are interested in working with serious entrepreneurs who are willing to really commit several years of their lives in building a sustainable, profitable, significant business. It takes, that, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment, willingness to deal with a lot of challenges and headaches and stress. And that's the kind of entrepreneur we're looking for. In terms of 1M resources, let's point you to what you can use from the 1M portfolio. 1mby1m.com is our website. You will have the blog that is available for free. There's a ton of information there, lots of case studies and trend information, and it is a learning platform itself, and it's completely free. In addition, we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. There are 4 volumes of it so far published, and these are in the format of case studies, analysis, and synthesis. Those books are available on Amazon and Kindle internationally and Flipkart in India. We specifically focus on certain methodology elements which are real core methodology elements of our entire philosophy and the 1M program itself. Bootstrapping and positioning are really key to that entire thought process. So you will have to kind of adjust your mental set to want to do it in a bootstrapped mode with the laser sharp positioning so that you can get to enough validation. Beyond that, you can raise money. If your business is fundable, you can raise money. But our experience of the financing ecosystem of the world is that unless you bootstrap to validation and create a fundable situation, likelihood of your raising financing is very low to non-existent. Concept financing does not happen much anymore at all in the industry. Please put your lines on mute, folks. Those of you who are dialed into the call, if you could only put your lines on mute, that would be great. Ravindra, your line is unmuted. Needs to mute, please. This is what it looks like. What's on your screen is what the site looks like. You have these free roundtables to come in, quick, read on your business, a little bit of discussion, a little bit of feedback. And this is 182nd roundtable. We've been doing this for a long time. We have a lot of experience in gauging businesses and assessing what's involved, where you're going wrong, and what you need to change to course correct and put yourself on path where the probability of success is going to be higher. You can register for the free public roundtables on the website. On the top navigation bar, there's free public roundtables. That's where all the registration link and the schedules are. After that, we offer you the premium program, which offers extensive methodology guidance. Any of you who are trying to build a startup and you want to very rapidly, in a very compressed time frame, in a very efficient way, get all the startup methodology under your belt, you can do one premium program. We have a curriculum. We offer you help with strategy consulting in similar sessions, but much more in depth. And in combination with the curriculum, it gives you a lot faster path to merging on specific strategy elements. We also deal with business development, introductions to customers, channel partners, investors. Wherever appropriate, we introduce you to investors. And we also help you with media relations. We have a lot of clout in the media, and we help you get visibility for your businesses. You can meet some of our $1 Million Club members on the website on this link. You also look at the ROI of 1M1M. We provide $375,000 plus equity worth value for $1,000 annual membership fee only, and provide you orientation material on how to use the program effectively. So if you use the program the way it is designed, people are doing that are deriving tremendous value out of the program. Please also take a look at the 1M1M self-assessment. It's available for free on the website. It's a 9-point questionnaire that walks you through some of the issues that you need to really calibrate your business on. So make sure that you take a look at those questions and try to answer them. For the pre-members, we also provide curriculum modules to plug your knowledge gaps. In a lot of cases, we see knowledge gaps, and you need to plug knowledge gaps and get questions answered with the curriculum modules. There's a lot more information on the website about what to expect from the premium program, FAQs that are in form of video messages. Quick word about how we do the curriculum. So the curriculum consists of case studies and video lectures. Over this course of doing 182 roundtables, free roundtables, and of course we have the premium roundtables that have been for 2.5 years now. We have this understanding of the kinds of issues that you guys are facing as early stage entrepreneurs. So we have identified all those issues, and we have gathered also since 2006 one of the most comprehensive bodies of case studies. Successful entrepreneurs have come to our forum and related how they have built their businesses, how they mitigated those kinds of challenges and issues. And we put those pieces together and create a video lectures and case study based curriculum that would be able to use in a web self-service mode and learn some topics that you need to learn. In the curriculum, you will learn bootstrapping, positioning, market selling, customer validation, finding customer acquisition, and team building. In the 11 modules, you'll learn topics that are related to certain industry segments and types of businesses. Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, health, IT, online education, gaming. These are the elective modules that we teach. Our technology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. We do raise money, but please understand that to get to financing round, there is a lean, capital efficient bootstrap phase involved. And in some companies, those are not fundable and have to build your entire business in this lean, capital efficient bootstrap mode. And we teach how to calibrate yourself to decide whether your company is fundable or not. Accordingly, derive the rest of the strategy. We do a lot of media coverage, as I said. If you go to our press page, you can look up the coverage of premium members. We have a lot of clout in the media, and we put that clout to work on behalf of our portfolio companies. We also have extensive presence in social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, blog. We give you access to the social media channel so that you can market your products and services through that channel as well. Incubation Radar, Deal Radar, these are series that we publish that often investors monitor, and we provide, comprehensive overview of your companies in those series. We also have an affiliate program. If you're an organizer, if you're an entrepreneurship development organization or your media company focused on entrepreneurship, and if you partner with us and become an affiliate partner of 1M1M, we provide 10% affiliate commission. Up free roundtables are July 25th. That's the last roundtable for this month. And then August, we have 2 roundtables, August 22nd and 29th. Please go ahead and book your slots to pitch. And Maureen will be in touch with you with instructions on what you need to do to prepare to pitch. If you're in India or in a developing country and you're looking for ideas, Vision 2020 is effectively an idea generation book. I have $45 billion business ideas focused on developing economies. And as business fiction set in 2020, as we've already gone ahead and built these businesses. It will give you a lot of ideas. You can take any of these ideas and build on them or create derivative ideas out of them. We have Incubator in a Box, which is a program through which anyone, any part of the world, companies, angel investors, VCs, governments, schools, entrepreneurship development organizations can start your own incubator. And the is on your screen. You can go with that, and if you want to partner with us, get in touch. We have just 3 minutes, so if anybody wants to call in or ask questions in public chat, we'll do a very quick Q&A. If you're calling in, the number is 650-479-3208, access code 669-548-885. So, a very quick Q&A time for the remaining minutes. Any questions, comments? If you want to introduce yourself, now is a good time to do that. Anybody? Many people in the room and nobody has any questions or comments. No questions. Don't send private messages, folks. You need to set your chat window to send to all participants. We're asking how often are roundtables held for premium members? At least weekly, sometimes more than that. It depends on what the needs are. Scheduled time is Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. That is for roundtables on Wednesday morning Pacific time. 8 Pacific time. Anybody else? Rush, a question? Prashant, question? Shelly says, what do you think about product companies from India for high-tech market? I'm seeing a lot of product companies. In our portfolio, there are lots of Indian product companies. We have, if you read my blog, I've covered Indian product companies and the subject of Indian product companies extensively. So it's definitely a trend, and it's happening more and more. Prashant, he's attended his first meeting today. I don't understand your question. Are you is progress for e-commerce companies since Amazon has acquired what? Acquired most of the world. There are thousands and thousands of niche e-commerce companies out there. Including in the 1M program, we see a lot of e-commerce companies, including companies in India and other parts of the world. E-commerce is one of the most active categories for entrepreneurship, niche e-commerce in particular. Now says IMO, it is difficult to run any service business with profit in India as we still have not understood the meaning of service. It is difficult to run any service business as we still have not No, I agree with you, Shyam. There are lots of service businesses running very well from India, and we have an extensive portfolio of services companies that are doing very well in India as well. And of course, India has created a very strong global positioning in the IT services market, IT and IT-enabled services market. So I don't agree with your statement at all. Which country you would think would be to start and is real need of e-commerce company? Every company has e-commerce opportunities. E-commerce is going to be trillions of dollars. Massive industry. Every country has e-commerce opportunities. Says cheap labor model versus a good service. I don't think India's model anymore is a cheap labor model. There's a tremendous amount of expertise that has developed in Indian services companies. In cases, there is more expertise in certain areas of IT services in India and elsewhere in the world. So it's no longer just a cheap labor model. Some cheap labor model, but not all of it. Labor arbitrage business, obviously. We've pretty much exhausted the time that we have budgeted for these sessions. And please come back next week and we'll continue the conversation, okay? You can register at on the website, and next Thursday we have another roundtable, and we'll continue the conversation here. Bye. Thanks for attending, and I know many of you have stayed late in different parts of the world, like Australia. Thank you very much for doing that, and we really appreciate listening to your ideas and what you're doing in different parts of the world. For me, it's wonderful. It's precious. It's wonderful. It's really inspiring to see entrepreneurship happening at such a large scale in so many different parts of the world, and it's wonderful to see that. Goodbye, buddy, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye.